Welcome to worship at Northside Assembly of God's Acadiana Cathedral in Crowley. Pastor Loyd Singley and staff invite you to join us this Sunday for Sunday School at 9:30 a.m., worship service at 10:30 a.m. and 6 p.m. Wednesday is family night at 7 p.m. Come with us now as we join the worship service in progress in the Acadiana Cathedral.
Author of all eternity, giver of every perfect thing, to you be the glory. Maker of heaven and of earth, no one can comprehend your word. King over all the universe, to you be the glory.
Through Malachi several weeks ago, and of course I have read the Bible through a number of times, and obviously I've read through Malachi lots of times, but there was one thing kept sticking out to me and caught my attention. I started some notes on this message several weeks ago, probably a couple of months ago at least, when I was coming through Malachi, and there's a phrase that's given there that caught my attention. It's "yet you say." You're going to see that with me several times through this book, and that's the title of the message today, "Yet You Say." I want to read a few verses in that first chapter, beginning in verse number 2. "I have loved you, says the Lord, yet you say, in what way have you loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, says the Lord? Yet Jacob I have loved, but Esau I have hated. And laid waste his mountains and his heritage for the jackals of the wilderness. Even though Edom has said, we have been impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Now notice this. God says, I have loved you. I thought of John 3:16, of course. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And how anybody could question God's love when you think about the cross and you think about God's great gift. Even the children of Israel right here in Malachi, they haven't, of course, yet experienced the gift of God's Son, but they've experienced many countless gifts from God. And God said, I loved you, and their response was, in what way have you loved him? What about Esau? You said, Jacob I've loved, Esau I've hated. That doesn't sound like a God that loves. Well, they misunderstood that scripture. Isn't it amazing how people can want to reach and grab some isolated verse and make a mountain out of it? And, this Bible is literally full of the love of God in so many instances. And yet they would jump on this verse and try to build something out of it that doesn't exist. When God said, Jacob I've loved and Esau I've hated. Of course, Jacob and Esau were brothers, and we know the story. Esau rejected his birthright. He sold it. That tells us what God is talking about here. God loved, what did he love about Jacob and what did he hate about Esau? Well, it's pretty easy to see what God hated about Esau. I don't believe he hated the man as such, but he hated his ways. He hated the fact that he had no respect for the true blessing of God and the birthright, to sell the birthright, which literally gave him, as the firstborn son, gave him half of all of the inheritance. A lot of special privileges, and Esau despised it and literally sold that to his brother for a mess of pottage. Not even a good bowl of gumbo. I'm telling you. Tell something about this man Esau, where his heart was. What he valued in life. Jacob, on the other hand, he wouldn't have sold that birthright. No way in the world. We can see the kind of person he was. Now, Jacob wasn't a perfect man, but I tell you what I see about Jacob. The fact that he valued that birthright, but also see a man who built altars. I see a man who called on God. I see a man that, in spite of his imperfection, realized, I've got to have God. On several occasions, he built altars. He cried out to God. He recognized his need for God. And I want to tell you something, friend. That will gain you favor with God. If you'll recognize your need for him. And if you will not despise the true and the valuable things of God. There are people today who are despising their heritage in God. They're letting it lay aside. They're selling out. If you took the value of what Esau sold his birthright for, there are plenty of people selling out just as cheap today on things that don't last. God said, I loved you. And their response was, yet you say. Yet you say. It goes on to say, verse 6, a son honors his father and a servant his master. If then I am the father, where is my honor? And if I am master, where is my reverence, says the Lord of hosts, to you priests who despise my name. Yet you say, in what way have we despised your name? God says, you are despising my name. You say, how, God, how could I be despising your name? Well, God goes on to say, he said, verse 7, you offer defiled food on my altar. But say, in what